Example 4. So example 4 is a bit more advanced, and because this time we're dealing with negative indices. So if you notice in our terms here, the term outside of the bracket, C negative 1, or you can say C inverse, and also the second term inside of our brackets, we have a negative 2. So we will be bringing in laws involving negative indices from our handouts. Okay, let's begin. Of course, let's write down our little steps for each multiplication. We have our signs that we'll be dealing with, then the coefficients, and then we have variables. For the variables, we have A, B, and C. A, B, and C. So A, B, and C variables. So if, as usual, we remember that we multiply the term outside to the first term in the bracket. We put our answer here. Next, we multiply the term outside to the second term inside of our brackets, and we put that answer here. Let's begin. We begin by let's making sure we put our signs and our powers. So signs are, there's a positive there, there's a positive there. And our powers or indices, all of them have except this one here. So we put a little 1, and also here and here. There's no need to put power for the numbers, the coefficients, no need. So let's go right ahead. For term outside to the first term inside of the brackets. Positive times a positive gives you a positive. Of course, if you do not know to multiply these signs, just get the handout and follow. But once the signs are the same, you'll get a positive. Once the signs are different, you'll get a negative. This happens when you're multiplying signs. Positive times positive is positive. Next, the coefficients. Coefficients. 4 times 2 gives you 8. All right, that's the coefficient. Variables now. We have our first variable, A. So let's put A here, and then let's see what we're going to have to add together. And we'll do it in one step. We're not going to go to add it in the next step. So 2 plus 1 gives you 3. And we have a second variable, B. B to the first power, B to the second, you multiply it, you add 1 plus 2 gives you 3. And we have C here, C inverse. And of course, we imagine that there's a 1 here. So C to C inverse times 1, gonna give you C inverse. Good, that's it. That's it for our first term in the bracket multiplied by the term outside. Now the second term in the bracket multiplied by the term outside. Positive times a negative, different signs, you'll get a negative. Next, the coefficient. 4 times 1. There's a 1 here. All right? 4 times 1 is going to give you 4. All right? Variables now. A. We have our A variable. A squared times A to the first power. 2 plus 1 gives you 3. Next one is B. Put our B there. B, 1 plus 1 gives you 2. And we have our C variable. C, negative 1 plus negative 2. So we can do that little calculation right here. Negative 1 plus negative 2. At this point, you can just consult your handout a little. So we notice that there's a combination of signs inside here. Let's deal with this little combination first. Positive and negative coming together. All right, it says together and different, negative outcome. Positive and negative A. positive and negative 2. You're going to get negative. So this is going to give you a negative here. So negative 1, negative 2. Okay, so let's look in our handout again. And we find negative A, negative B. Negative 1, negative 2. That corresponds. So you're going to get a negative value. So you're going to be negative, and then you add. 1 plus 2 gives you 3. Okay, so when the signs are the same, you write back that sign and you add. So you write back a sign and you add 1 plus 2 gives you 3. So just take your time and follow this handout. Make life very easy. There's no need to guess. Math is a very beautiful process, and hope that your teachers, whoever is teaching you, can understand. Okay, so the answer is negative 3, so C, negative 3. Negative 1, negative 2 gives you negative 3. Fantastic. Okay, so we have negative indices here. We just have to convert these negative indices to positive indices. So let's consult our handout again. When we have negative indices, what happens? All right. Okay, a base with a negative power, a to the minus m. So first of all, we imagine that a to the minus m is over 1. And then you flip it over. 1 goes to the top, and am goes to the bottom. You leave out the negative. Okay, so a to the minus m, 1 over am. So let's write back all of this, and the negatives you will apply that law. Positive 8, 8 cubed, b cubed, c inverse, 1 over c. Right? You could have put c to the first power, but it doesn't matter. We have our next one coming up for a cube b square, c inverse 3, or c negative 3. That's going to give us 1 over c cubed. So we apply the law here. This law we apply. Very simple, very simple. Okay, so this is our answer. And the reason why we do not want negative indices is because normally your answer has to be positive. So this is your answer. There's no negative indices here. We dealt with a negative indice using this law. A to the minus m will give you 1 over am. The negative indices have been gotten rid of. Alright, so that is our example there. I hope you appreciate how it is done. I'm now going to give you an exercise. Please pause the video, work the exercise, and I'll be showing you how it's done afterwards. Alright, this is your exercise. As I said, pause the video, work it, and then I will be showing you how it is done. Alright, so I hope you would have paused the video and worked this little expression out. I'm now going to show you how it is done. Please listen carefully. Of course, we are going to multiply the term outside to the first term inside. We write our answer here. Then we multiply the term outside to the second term. We write our answer there. For each one of them, deal with the sign, and you deal with the coefficients, then you deal with whatever variables are there. Let's begin. And of course, we begin by making sure that those conventions, those numbers that are not there, we put them in. So let's see, n first power, there's a 1 in front here, there's a 1 there. So everything has been accounted for. Good. Let's begin our, we forgot the positive. In the handout, it tells you a convention. That this by itself means a positive is in front, a 1 is in front, and a power to 1 is there. So this is the first thing that we have to do when we're dealing with this kind of multiplication. We make sure that the convention is there. Positive, coefficient of 1, and power of 1. If it is not there, you put it in. Okay, let's do our little multiplication. Signs first. Negative times a positive, signs are different, it's going to be a negative. Coefficient, 4, and we have our 1 there. 4 times 1 gives you 4. Okay, variable, first one is an m. So m, negative 1 plus 1. So we can write it down somewhere. Negative 1 plus 1. We can use our handout. Negative and a positive. Let's see. Negative and positive. Negative and positive. So it says you write the sign of the greater value and subtract big from small. Well, the values are the same. So we can say basically that negative 1 and positive 1 are going to give you 0. If you're moving, you start from 0, you're moving to your left, then you move to the right. By one step each, you will end up at 0. Okay? So negative 1, positive 1 gives you 0. You have n. 1 plus 2 gives you 3. O to the second power. You can imagine there's a 1 here. O to the second power times 1. O to the second power. Alright, that's for our first term in the bracket. Now the second term, negative times a negative, same signs, so you'll be a positive. Coefficients, we have 4 times 8 is going to give you 32. Variables, we have m. Let's put that m here, and let's deal with the indices. Negative 1 and positive 2. So let's go negative 1 plus 2. Again, it says negative 1 plus 2. This is the 1. So write the sign of the greater value and add and subtract small from big. What is the greater value here? 2 is the greater value. So you take the sign of the greater value, which is a positive. Positive. And then you subtract as per normal. 2 take 1 gives you 1. Okay, so I hope that part was clear. All right. So m to the first power. Okay, so let's go to the n variable. Let's put that n variable here, and then let's look at the indices. n1 plus n2. So that's going to give you a 3. Next, the o variable, 2 plus minus 2. 2 take 2 is going to give you 0. So all our negative indices, actually, we're not going to apply the negative power here because there's no negative indices, so there's no need to apply that law. So negative 4, m to the 0 is 1, so you don't write it back. N cube, o square plus 32, m to the first power, you don't have to write it back. N to the third power, o to the 0 power is 1. You can see a to the 0 power is 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So 1 comes here. So we're not gonna put 1 because it is not necessary. Anything times 1 is that number. So this is your answer. Okay. So there's no negative indices like up here, where you have to apply that rule. So I hope you would have gotten the answer correct. You should feel proud of yourself. Maths is fun. It's very simple once you take your time.